Hello and welcome back to the Ginger and Spice podcast. All right, do you want to let the people know what books we read this week?
Okay, so we are in week 2 of Daddy Week, and let me tell you, it has been a real treat for my ears and my eyes.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Oh, lordy.
Yeah. So, of the Daddy books that we had Gratify by Katelyn Jenner, Older by
Katelyn Jenner.
Look what I did there.
I didn't know Katelyn Jenner was an author.
I went rogue there.
Yeah, really rogue.
Yeah. Okay, so we had Older by Jennifer Hartmann, Gratify by Caitlin Taylor, and Entangled by Harleigh Beck. Then the rogue ones, we had Her Trust by HR Lloyd, and we had Morning Glory Milking Farm by CM Nascosta. We had a great week. I've loved it.
Yeah, we had 2 rogue ones this week. And I can't lie, I was definitely into the Morning Glory Milking Farm.
I was into it way more than I probably should have
Too
been.
much, way too much.
Oh, yeah.
I was questioning things about myself.
Yeah.
I went on Goodreads after I finished and was like, want to read on the whole series. I was like, well, this is a new development.
Yeah, who knew?
Didn't think this was going to happen. It's kind of a bit like Monster Smut.
Yeah,
but
it is, yeah.
He's a Minotaur. I have a lot of notes on this.
My God! Wait, that's all I have. That one page.
Oh my
This
God.
one page. What do you have?
I have these 2 plus this one.
I mean, I didn't realise there was that much to talk about.
No, I told you I had a really good time.
Yeah, that's good.
So, for context, I'm actually not much of a note taker. And I've said this to you before, that especially if I'm really into the book, I will forget to take notes. However, there was just so many things to take note of.
There was so much going on in this. I mean, it was
Yeah.
like, how many pages is it?
244 pages.
Yeah. But so much happened.
Yeah. And on audio, by the way, on 1.8 speed, it's 3.5 hours. Really nice and easy.
Okay, so we've got Violet, who is currently trying to make some money so that she can pay off her student loans and pay for her rent. If she can't get a decent job, she's moving back in with her parents. So she sees an advert for the Morning Glory Milking Farm, and she's like, do you know what? I could probably do that. And what it is
It does exactly what it says on the tin.
she tosses off minotaurs to get their spunk out.
Get their man juice.
To get their man juice out, which is then used to make Viagra because their spunk is super spunky. And then she falls in love with one of them. Because,
obviously.
Of course, with his massive appendage.
So she's human and he obviously is not.
Yeah.
And she gets this job and they have like a roster of clients. If you think of it sort of like a sperm bank, where sperm donors come in, knock one out, and then they get paid for leaving their man juice behind. It is basically like that. The Minotaurs come in, they get paid to leave their super sperm, so that the pharmaceutical company can use it in those little blue pills that the human men need to give them a rather large boost in the bedroom. So she has a roster of clients, and one of them is Rourke. And Rourke takes a liking to her.
Yeah, he does.
And she takes a liking to him. And basically, it's just the progression of their relationship. The first half of the book is pretty much just her tugging him plus a couple of other people off.
Do you know what?
Constantly.
The in-depth descriptions of what it was that they were doing to these minotaurs was so good.
Yeah.
Like, I really enjoyed it. Just all of the massaging and...
Yeah. And then
feeling.
and then they get the machine on them. So they would kind of like get them to the precipice and then use the machine to just kind of like get
Draw
them
it
over
out.
the edge, and then the milk would go into the machine and fill up like little bottles, big bottles actually.
It was 24 ounces.
But even when they put the machine on the appendage, like the author was so descriptive in like, oh, it was just, she teased it over the head and then slowly put it down, and it was just really descriptive.
I knew so much about all of their appendages.
Yeah.
How many veins they had.
Yeah.
The spots. The ball sacks. And then obviously when her and Rourke fell in love, they then have to do bits. She's obviously human, he's Minotaur, and he's like, I've got to prepare you down below before you can take me. And he does.
Yeah.
With that rough tongue of his.
At the end of the book, they say, "Welcome to Cambridge Creek, where the neighbours are a little unconventional and the full moon affects more than just the night sky. Sexy werewolves, adorable mothmen, and randy minotaurs welcome you to settle in and make yourself at home." I just thought that was a really good little quote.
Yeah, I like it.
It was said at the end of the book. I don't know if that was in like the written physical book or not, but It was quite nice at the end of the audiobook. I really liked the female narrator in this actually as well. Eva Kane, her name was, and she did a grand job, I must say. So there's lots of different creatures in this. There's like minotaurs. There's also like vampires.
Yeah.
I know that this is a whole world as well. This Cambridge Creek is a whole world. I actually really like the world building.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed,
good.
and I didn't expect it. I thought this was just going to be like some batshit crazy kind of monster smut type kind of book, you know. But actually, I didn't expect to enjoy their little love story and enjoy their little kind of like found family that they had with the neighbours and.
It was unhinged, like it was totally unhinged.
Yeah.
Like, the story behind it was unhinged, but at the same time, I really enjoyed it. Like,
Yeah,
I
me
had
too.
a great time.
Yeah. Okay, should we go into ratings?
Absolutely.
Let's do
we
stars. 3, 2, 1, 4.
Four.
Should we do chili ratings?
should. The Chiles.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, 4. For more than half the book, she is just tugging off these
She's
minotaurs.
Just really giving it some massage.
Yeah. Once Rourke realizes that he likes her and she kind of realizes that she likes him, they start to kind of like date. And he really makes her wait for it then because he kind of wants to be a gentleman. So you actually do go a little bit of time without any spice kind of at all whilst their little relationship builds up. And then she gets really frustrated,
really pent up
that he won't touch her. Yeah. And then eventually there's a really delicious scene when they're in the restaurant and he puts his fingers in places.
What does the fingers look like though? I do
not
not
know.
They're not going to be like man fingers.
See, in my
I
head,
just thought they were going to be like little hoovy things.
so I still pictured him with hands. However, in my head, this is what I was thinking when he was like putting his fingers in places. I just imagined them to have really long nails.
Oh!
And I was like, it was just making me shiver a little bit. I mean, I know he obviously must not have, but yeah.
Woo!
Okay, have you got anything else you want to say on this one?
No, you?
No. I mean, the end did drag on a little bit. I don't think it needed to be 244 pages. I think it probably could have gotten away with being like maybe 170 and you still would have got the same information.
Yeah.
However, it did not take away from my enjoyment of it. I did really enjoy it. And I will read the rest in the series.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right. Should we move on to the next one?
Okay, so this one is Gratify by Katelyn Taylor. So this is ex-boyfriend's dad, parents' best friend, and godfather. I mean, it packs a punch, this one.
Yeah.
It really did.
It covered a lot of daddy aspects.
So we've got Atlas and we've got Andromeda. So Atlas is best friends with her parents, and she is also with Atlas's son, Theo. She catches Theo cheating on her, so they break off. However, she does have a planned internship at Atlas's business. Her parents end up in a car crash and they pass away. So Atlas then takes her under his wing and it all blossoms from there. And by God, does it blossom.
So she's obviously always been around him because he's her godfather and her parents' best friend. However, obviously when her parents pass away, she's left in this big house and she's, alone. And one night Theo and Atlas kind of catch her. She's having these nightmares and it's really bad. So they eventually kind of agree that she'll move in with them. So she's kind of got some company. And obviously the forced proximity situation really does its bit.
Woo!
This was so good. I had such a good time reading this.
Time.
They were so like back and forth, like they knew they shouldn't be doing it.
He really didn't want to do it,
Yeah.
like at all. But then something spicy would happen, but not like the full way. And then he'd be like, "Oh, we can't do this. Like, I can't do this again. We can't keep doing this." And that went on for a while.
And it did add to the kind of angst and the longing in the book for the two of them. I mean, there is quite the age gap in this. Atlas is 41 and she's 18. So that's quite an age gap.
That is a big age gap.
Yeah, that's 20 odd years.
So the other thing that I loved about this one is that she ends up dating a guy called Dylan who works at the firm as well. And then Atlas has got a thing going on with Andromeda's auntie, but it's not really a thing. So there's like separate dates going on and then the tension ends up building because obviously they both want each other, but they're just fooling around.
They're getting jealous of each other as well.
Yeah.
Like Andromeda's auntie is just like obsessed with Atlas and kind of makes no secret of it.
No.
So she's constantly fawning over him, trying to get him alone, like that kind of stuff. And Atlas has kind of just like not really ever done anything about it and just gone with it really. But then obviously he builds a relationship with Andromeda And eventually he comes to the end of his tether with it, and he just is not interested anymore. The tension between the two of them really does build up, because there's also the jealousy element of other people wanting the two of them. There is so many amazing, delicious scenes in this. Oh my God.
The 2 office scenes.
Insane. Insane.
Okay, let's do ratings first, and then let's talk about those spicy scenes after we've done the chilies.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, so let's start with the starsies.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
4.5.
Yeah, nice.
No, we both gave it 4.5 in case you missed that.
Yeah. Chilies, the chili peppers.
Chili peppers.
3, 2, 1.
4.
I mean, it was delicious.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the office scenes?
Okay, so the first one, Dylan is asking her out on a date right outside Atlas's office. He overhears it, so he comes out and he's like, I need a word with you. Can you get in here, please? So she goes sauntering in and he says, crawl to me. She's like, what? And he's like, crawl to me. So she does. And then he's like, get me out. And then he tells her to suck, and it was amazing.
Yeah, it was. He literally didn't say anything else. Once that door shut in his office, he said nothing else. He just sat himself down, man spread on this sofa, and literally just said to her, crawl to me. And that's why she was like, excuse me? What? And he's like, crawl to me. Get down on your knees and crawl to me. And then she's sort of a little bit like, do I be defiant? Like, or do I just do it? And she was like, before I knew it, I'm lowering to my knees and crawling across the floor. It was so
delicious.
Good.
He's like, tie your hair up, get me out. I was like, oh,
yeah.
Okay, will do.
And then the other office scene.
Oh, so the other office scene, they're getting down and dirty. She's under his desk sucking him off, and then the assistant walks in, and she just carries on, but like harder, because she wants to make him, you know,
finish,
and he cannot hold it together at all. Like, his assistant's like, are you all right? Like, is something going on?
Yeah, because the assistant obviously can't see her. She doesn't know, because the desk is covering Andromeda. So then Atlas kind of leans forward on his arms and elbows on the desk, and the assistant's like, are you all right? Have you got a cold or something? And she's like, oh, I can get you some cough sweets. I've got some in my desk. And he's like, yeah, that would be great. And then the assistant's just sitting there talking, and he literally finishes with his like head in his hands and pretends he's obviously not feeling well, and just finishes right in front with the assistant just right there.
Perfection.
There's a couple of things he says to her in this. One of the things he says to her is in the crawl to me scene. Yeah. So when he says crawl to me, and then he says, you know, get me out, blah blah blah. At the end, after he finishes, wipes her mouth and says, good girls, don't waste a drop. And then he also says to her, I think this is a bit closer to the end when things really do ramp up between the two of them. He says, I know how much you love that your godfather is fucking your ass right now. So we got a goddaddy kink. Yeah, they do eventually get caught. I mean, that's not a spoiler. Obviously, they're going to get caught if it's going to be a happily ever after. And that whole situation after that actually went on quite a while. I really felt longing on their behalf, because there's quite a bit of a time jump. Like, she's like, I just need some time, you know, blah, 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 to sort myself out. And he really goes to the ends of the earth for her in the end. And he gives her all these letters that he's been writing. And it was just a really lovely ending as well.
Okay, should we move on to the next book?
Yep, absolutely.
Let's do it. So let's do Entangled by Harleigh Beck.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoo! How many pages is this one?
117. That's really short. Really short.
But packs a punch.
Yeah, it does. Even when I'm thinking about it now, and I'm thinking about the storyline and everything that happened, it does feel like it was a longer book that I read than feel like it was 117 pages.
Do you know what? It probably could have been longer, though.
I messaged Harleigh Beck after and said to her, I would have liked this to have been a longer story.
So this one is Best Friend's Dad.
Yep.
Daddy. This one is Willow and Grayson. So Willow is best friends with Chloe. They go out one night. Chloe has a bit of an argument with her boyfriend Dylan, and Chloe goes missing. So as the days progress, Willow ends up going to see Grayson. He ends up really down in the dumps, so she ends up doing like grocery shopping for him and stuff, taking it round. And then they see each other more and more. They end up cooking dinner together, and then it all progresses from there.
Yeah, so they actually live next door to each other.
Yeah.
So they can actually see each other like from their bedroom windows as well, which is important, and we'll come back to that.
Yes.
So she's kind of like, oh, I haven't seen him for a while. Like, obviously, because his daughter's disappeared so many years after his wife also disappearing.
Yeah.
So he's like, he's basically just lost his entire family.
Yeah.
So he's not going out or anything. And Willow's like, let me go and check on him. So she does. And then they end up in this kind of like close proximity situation. It's not forced, obviously, but they enjoy spending time together and reminiscing about Chloe and, you know, bringing each other comfort in a shit situation. Obviously, he's quite a bit older. I don't have their ages down, do you?
I do not know.
So there is obviously a bit of an age gap in this one. Okay, let's quickly get into ratings and then we can kind of dissect the scenes that we liked.
Yep.
And talk about that fucking plot twist. Because holy shit.
Holy shitballs.
Okay, let's do stars.
Yep.
3, 2, 1, 4.5.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Just oh my god.
I absolutely devoured this.
This was so easy to read.
I read it in one sitting.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's only 117 pages, but I read it in one sitting and did not come up for air.
No, same.
It was so good.
good.
Should we do chili peppers?
The chilies.
3, 2, 1, 3.5.
I mean, hooey! Did he show some skill?
He had zero restraint. I mean, so Willow's been kind of obsessed with Grayson and had a bit of a crush on him since she was younger. She was always kind of jealous of the fact that her friend had this like really lovely family that had their shit together because her family was a bag of shit.
Yeah,
like her mum didn't give a toss about her. Her brother was never around. Like her dad's not there. And she was basically just on her own like all the time. And her mum like always ignored her even as a kid and didn't really look after her. So because she's always kind of like had a bit of a crush on him, obviously, not to say that she takes the opportunity, but she kind of does, I guess. She inserts herself into his life and, you know, kind of really does make it a little bit obvious that she is interested, and she does give him the come on a little bit, and he doesn't really bat her off. I mean, he starts looking at her like, you know, before even Chloe disappears, he starts taking a bit of a liking to her. You know, he's noticing her in a very different way to usual because she's a grown woman now. So he's kind of like looking at her like, wow, you know, oh God, I shouldn't be having these thoughts about my daughter's best friend and stuff like that. And she's also thinking the same. I shouldn't be having these thoughts about my best friend's dad. And then obviously Chloe disappears and that just leaves him all alone. So then she kind of does, I guess, take advantage of the situation and puts it on him a little bit. But I guess to some degree, he also takes advantage of the fact that there's no one around in either of their families to tell them that what they're doing is wrong. So, yeah, they become very close indeed.
Yeah, but they're also dating other people at the same time.
He's kind of like, right, I really need to get rid of some of this, like, tension that's building up inside me. So he relieves himself with another woman. She sees this, she gets jealous, but then on the flip side, he also sees her with another man. And because they live across the road from each other, he's in his bedroom and he can see into her window, and she basically invites this guy round.
Oh, it was so good.
And this guy's putting it on her. Her curtains are still open, and Grayson is literally just across the way staring at her, and she knows, she can see him from in her mirror that he's watching from his bedroom window. He's putting his hands up her top and feeling her nipples and feeling her boobs, and things are getting heated, kissing down her neck, and she knows he's there watching. And eventually he throws her on the bed, and then 5 minutes later Grayson comes storming in her house, storming up the stairs and like yanks him off her, and he's like, don't fucking touch her, blah blah blah. And obviously,
oh my God, it was so good.
This bloke is like, who the fuck is this older guy?
Wild.
It was insane.
It was insane.
The tension was insane, and he literally couldn't explain why he was there and why he was doing it.
No,
because the guy's like, oh, is this your dad or whatever, and she's like, no. There was another great tension-filled, delicious scene involving the 2-bedroom windows, and it was before they even done anything. I actually think they got a little bit heated in his kitchen when they were doing dinner, and then they kind of pulled off each other, and we were like, we can't do this. So she went home, and then a little while after, she's in her bedroom and she's going for a shower, and she notices that he's in his room, and she decides, knowing that he's there watching, she decides to strip off for the shower right in front of the window. So she literally strips everything off, and obviously it's the first time he's ever seen her without any clothes on. And he's like, well, obviously now I need to have a piece of that.
I want a slice of that cake.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a slow progression because obviously it's only 117 pages, but it's a really nice paced progression. And, you know, you don't just go from like 0 to 100. So it's not like nothing to fucking.
No, there's a lot of tension.
So much tension, so much kind of like foreplay scenes.
Yep.
There's also the scene where he actually does very first touch her. He comes home one night and she's on his doorstep and she's been drinking wine. She's still got the bottle with her. She's a little bit tipsy. So he takes her indoors and he's like, just sit down and whatever. So then she starts teasing him and she like opens her legs. He's sitting on the coffee table in front of her on the sofa. She opens her legs and starts touching her leg and bringing her leg up and puts her fingers in her panties. And then basically he just loses all fucking restraint in that scene.
Gone.
Gets his mouth on her.
Out.
And absolutely devours her. And there's a very delicious quote, which we're not going to say here, but it's a very delicious quote.
Shit me.
He says...
That quote was delightful.
We put it on our socials.
I did put it on socials because I was floored. I was like, oh.
Do you want to talk about... I think you liked the cinema scene, didn't you?
The cinema scene was delightful. They both end up going to watch the same film, but they're with their other dates. During the film, she walks past and taps him on the shoulder and they end up in the toilet together. And just the tension between both of them, because he's like, well, you know, I just need an older woman because she's more experienced. And she's like, yeah, well, I'm going to be on all fours later for Luca, so... And then he just snaps and ends up doing her in the toilet. Yeah. When both of their dates are still out watching the film.
Should we talk quickly about the plot twist?
Yeah. How do we talk about the plot twist without giving the plot twist away? Dear Lord, I did not see that coming.
We've had some conversations with people in the DMs about this book and about the plot twist in it. Tia didn't see it coming, and the people we spoke to in our DMs also didn't see it coming.
No.
Now, I didn't know specifically what the plot twist was. However, I did see it or some variation of it coming. I'm trying to be very careful about what I say so I don't give it away.
Yeah.
But I'll show you for people that are watching on video. The second note in my notebook says, I can see the plot twist coming a mile off.
Yeah, I did not at all. Not even close.
The plot twist was honestly so good.
Yeah, for sure. Like, wild.
Okay, should we move on to the next one?
Yes!
This is actually our favourite book of the week.
Yeah. So I have a small amount of notes on this because I have only just finished it.
Yeah.
However, fuck me, was this amazing.
Yeah.
So this is Older by Jennifer Hartmann.
I have 4 pages of notes on this.
Of course you do.
I actually read this at the start of the week. I also audiobooked this. I've done so many audiobooks lately and I usually do not many.
I know, you really have treated yourself.
Yeah. I cannot stress enough how glad I am that I did this on audio because the narrator of this did a fucking fantastic job. Yeah. I cannot even stress that enough. She was so good at conveying exactly what was on the paper. Like, I'm going to try and give you an example. In the book, there would be sentences where, like, she talks quite intimately, as in not her words, but just the way that she comes across. So she's sort of a little bit like, I could tell that he was thinking about something. His hand on the table, his finger, tap, tap, tap. And I was just like, oh my God, even you doing that then. I mean, I made some of those words up, but there were so many scenes where she was like that and I felt it in my fucking 100%, soul.
Yeah.
The way she conveyed the story.
It was like she spoke so softly and like you just, every single word meant something to me. Yeah. Like, that's the best way to describe it.
Everything all the words hit.
Yeah.
They really did. I really think if you're going to read this, either audiobook it or do like an immersive read where you audio and read at the same time because, oh my God, like 11 out of 10.
Yeah.
We won't do ratings just yet, but I actually gave this an extra 0.5 purely for the audio.
Did you?
Yeah, because it was so good. So this is Harleigh and Reed. She is 19, he's 36. That's the age of most of the story. However, there is some time jumping in this. Yeah. So it starts obviously earlier on, and again, there is time jumping towards the end. And it is best friend's dad. I fucking loved her.
Yeah, I
really loved her.
Character, like really amazing. Like she did nothing wrong, you know, like sometimes in books like this, because it is best friend's dad, she can come across like she is in the wrong, whereas with this one it was such a slow progression like from when they first met to then obviously falling in love, that no one was in the wrong here.
So when they met, they didn't actually know who each other was.
No.
So she's at this house party, but she can't bother with everybody inside. So she's taking herself outside. She's sitting kind of like half in, half out of this lake, just like minding her business, deep in thought. Her dad is very abusive. She doesn't really like her home life at all, and she just kind of wants to get away from it. And she's obviously struggling mentally. So she's deep in thought, and then this guy comes walking past, and he's like, "Are you lost?"
Yeah.
And that sentence doesn't hit unless you've read the book, but fuck me.
Yeah.
And they proceed to have a conversation. So he was at this party looking for someone, and it turns out he was looking for his daughter. And then they're both in the house at the same time later on. He ends up finding her sitting alone in this room, and then basically they kind of get it on. And then they're interrupted. Something happens, I won't say what, but then they part ways and they don't see each other again for a little while. Things escalate at home with her. Her dad takes it one step too far, and she ends up being taken in by her best friend and her mother.
Yep.
Now, her best friend's dad doesn't live with them. The mum and dad aren't together anymore. So she's never actually met the best friend's dad until that night.
And we all know where this one's going.
Yeah. So I think you can guess where I'm going with this. She moves in with the mum and the best friend, and then eventually she's introduced to the dad. So the very first time they meet, they're like, holy shit, it's you.
So they don't fully say that they had obviously like done bits and all this stuff in front of Tara, her best friend, and the mum, but they do say that they had previously met before.
And then obviously, because she's now living with them to get away from her dad, she's living with the mum and the best friend. The dad is around more. He gravitates to her, so he wants to be around more, but he also is trying to be a good dad to Tara.
Yeah, for sure.
And that was a really difficult storyline to watch as well. Like his relationship with his daughter and how that is affected by the relationship he's building with Harleigh. This whole story was just amazing.
It was
like so fucking
beautifully
good.
heartbreaking,
Yeah.
because there was a lot of heartbreak in it, both with their relationship and with what happened with her family and stuff. But it was beautiful. Like, just all of the words that were used in this story were just stunning.
I don't think we should get too much into specifics on this, because it's one of those books where you're like, we just want you to know that this is so worth reading, and you should absolutely
100%.
read it and experience it all for yourself. It is so fucking good, you won't regret it. Should we get into star ratings and chili ratings?
Absolutely, let's do it.
Let's do the stars.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
5.
5.5.
Oh, hello.
So, like I said, I gave this an extra 0.5 for the audiobook itself.
Okay, should we do the chalets?
Chili peppers.
Okay, 3, 2, 1,
2.5.
I mean, even the spicy scenes were just beautiful.
They were great. So obviously there was kind of like a little spicy moment at the very beginning when they very first meet at that party, but then there obviously isn't anything for a while.
Yeah.
But the very first time that they actually properly do it, the first time they come together, he picks her up from prom night. She was actually at this party that she didn't really want to be at, and he kind of said like, any trouble, you know, for either of the two of you, meaning Harleigh or Tara, his daughter, give me a ring, I'll come and pick you up. Tara wanted to go to this party, Harleigh didn't really want to go, so she calls Reed eventually and is like, oh, can you come pick me up? Like, I just want to go home. He comes and picks her up. They have like a moment in the car, and then it passes, and you know, they've been going back and forth on like, we really should be doing this, you know, it's not fair on like Tara or anybody else, blah blah blah. And then so they carry on, and then they nearly crash the car, and it basically just like snaps something inside the two of them, where I think they realize that actually it could be taken from them like so easily. And he actually ends up, rather than driving her home, he drives her to his apartment. She doesn't really question it. They get out, they get in the house, and they basically just rip each other's clothes off, and
for sure.
they go to town, like just right there on the living room floor.
That was the realization of them both knowing we are in love with each other. We could have just lost each other, so let's freaking do this.
Let's just fucking do it. Yeah, that was the turning point in their relationship, both mentally and physically. It was so fucking good.
There was like one moment, so I think it had ended with them being like, yeah, we won't do this anymore, like it's not a good idea, and then the next sentence was them fucking in the car. And I was look at you two go.
She's riding him in the front seat or something, isn't she? I will say that for me, for the type of book this was and the way it was written, the spice, the level of it, the amount of it, the way it was written, how long the scenes lasted, everything about it was perfect.
I love spice.
I loved it.
Like, I am happy to read something that's filled with spice and it's a 5 chilies. However, this book was so amazing that it didn't need to be loaded with spice.
No, and it added to it because it became more about their connection and their love story rather than just based around lust. And that was really nice.
I mean, you cried.
I did cry.
I had to stop myself from crying because I'd put a full face of makeup on and I was like, I can't redo this.
Yeah.
So I had to stop myself. But oh my God. Like, they were going to fall.
At the very start of the book, when they very first meet, there's a couple of things that are said about, you know, he says, are you lost? And there's another one which is like, are you here to save me? That's when they're in the room. And she says to him, are you here to save me? And their first meeting comes like full circle towards the end and at the end, when those phrases play back into it, but they're said in a very different way because their relationship is now in full bloom. And at the end, the very, very end, when he finally goes to get his girl, she says to him, you're here to save me, ? Oh, no. And he says, maybe you're here to save me. And honestly, I literally want to cry now.
I know, because now I feel like I could. We cried last week.
I know, we cried 2 weeks in a row. Why are we crying on Daddy Week? We didn't expect this.
Stressful.
I know. Anyway.
The other bit that really touched me, I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, literally the last sentence of the whole book when, oh my God, okay, hang on, let me just chill out a bit. Where the kids say, can you tell us about your love story?
Oh,
and
stop
she
it.
says, I'll tell you when you're older.
When you're older? Oh,
oh no.
Ooh.
And I was like, that is just so, oh no. Okay, no.
This is not good. Oh my God, you're proper crying your eyes out.
It's because I couldn't let them fall earlier, but we're nearly done with the podcast, so I can let them fall now. Oh my God, I'm full crying. Okay.
This is not good.
This is not an ideal situation.
Like I said at the very start of talking about this book, the narrator made a really good job of the way she told this story, and I can imagine that that is exactly how Jennifer Hartmann wanted it to be told.
For sure.
So when she's saying these things, like throughout the book, the word older comes into play so much.
Yeah.
We do time jump in this often, which is obviously relevant to the fact that the book is called Older as well. That is the whole point. When it comes up, it kind of punches you in the gut a little bit because it really stirs up emotions. So the last sentence being, I'll tell you when you're older.
I can't even. I simply cannot.
I can't even talk about it again.
Just as soon as that happened, I had to get out of the car really quick because I was like, otherwise I'm just going to burst into tears.
Ooh.
But that was, to end it like that was just absolute perfection. I need to go get a tissue.
I think I might have to have another wine. I'm sweating. My mascara isn't waterproof. Literally never wear mascara either, and I thought I'm going to put mascara on today because I feel safe.
This is not a safe space.
This turned out to not be a safe space.
Daddy weeks as well.
Should we go into our last one?
Yes!
Do you want to introduce it? I'm going to have a wine because I'm still not over crying.
Yeah, that's good. So this one is Her Trust by HR Lloyd. I fucking love this. This is book 2 in the New Generation Gangsters series. And Christ, this was good. Like, I didn't read the blurb, so I didn't actually really know what this was about.
Same.
But I did not see it going on the route that it went
No,
down.
absolutely not.
Like, not at all.
So for context, the series is kind of interconnected standalones and it's mafia.
Yeah.
And book 1 was a Why Choose that was called Their Starlight, and we both fucking loved that. I think it was a 5-star read, if I remember rightly, for the both of us. The characters in that, when I tell you the way the HR Lloyd writes her characters is honestly just fucking unmatched. Like the way that you connect to everyone almost immediately is amazing. Yeah. So they are mafia books, but book 1, I would say, was a lot lighter, mainly probably because it was like a wide choose. There was a lot of characters and there was a lot of relationship developments in that. This one, however, was definitely heavier on the mafia. It was definitely darker. Yeah. There were some scenes, I mean, she literally cut a man's pee-pee off and fed it to him.
It was great.
So the female main character in this book did feature in the first book. So like I said, they are interconnected standalones, but she didn't feature too heavily. She was just like a cameo character. Do you want to give a rundown of this book?
Yes, I would love to. Okay, so we've got Annika Wolf, who is an ice queen, and she is also the mafia don of the Talons. And then we have Javier, aka Harvey, who works for the police. He's getting chucked out because he did some bad things. So they say, if you go undercover, find out some stuff about her, and then come back to us, we can get you your job back. So that's exactly what he does. He joins their security team, and it goes from there, really. They get very close very quickly. Also, there is like a side plot that happens sort of halfway through, which neither of us saw coming.
No. I feel like the side plot became the main plot. Then and then it merged together, the romance kind of plot of him and her, plus the side plot of him supposed to be feeding information back to the police, and then you've got the plot that comes halfway through where they find these like runaway kids that they nearly run over. It turned out the kids had come from this like home where they were being kept in cages because they'd been sold by their parents to bad people, and they'd managed to escape, and then they were on the run for days. They nearly got run over by Annika Wolf. She ends up taking them in. And then Annika wants to find out where were they being kept, because is this human trafficking house on her territory?
Yeah.
And if it's not, whose territory is it on, and why are they allowing it? Because she's like, this has to stop. She was abused as a kid, so she's very much like, not only is it wrong, but also I have a very strong connection to this type of situation.
Yeah. So this Ice Queen thing comes about because she's quite lonely and she doesn't know how to love. So when she brings these two kids in, she really wants to help them, but she doesn't know how to deal with her emotions around them. So the progression of her character is actually amazing in this. Incredible.
I honestly was on the edge of tears. I lost count how many times.
I cried 3 times in this book.
So these two kids were 6 and 14 years old when they were found. Annika's journey with them is honestly amazing, but then also on that journey is Harvey as well. So Annika and Harvey get close, but then Harvey also sees that Annika is actually helping these children, and then Harvey starts to have a bit of an epiphany about like, well, why aren't the fucking police doing anything about this? Why are the police not stopping all this? And and then they end up not going to the police about this situation and dealing with it themselves, and Harvey's like, well, actually these bad guys are turning out to be the good guys and doing more good for the community than the police are supposed to be doing. So then he's going through a bit of like an internal dilemma about like his career choices and what he's doing with his life, and then he starts to fall into this life with Annika and these children and Annika's syndicate, so her world, her mafia world. He falls into it very easily, and he actually does start to like it very much. However, the whole him being a mole for the police situation doesn't really go away. So before we get into any like talk on the spice and stuff like that, should we just get the ratings done?
Absolutely.
Stars?
Yes.
3, 2, 1,
5.
4.5. So you gave it 5, I gave it 4.5.
I mean, I loved this so much. Like so much. I couldn't get enough of it. Okay, should we do the chili peppers?
Chili peppers?
Chilies. Okay, 3, 2, 1,
3.5.
Harvey, you sexy man.
Yeah.
Page 8 is where it started, when he was in the toilet, when he brought that girl into the toilet.
And it turned out that girl actually ended up working for Annika.
Yeah.
He bumped into her a couple of weeks later.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, I fucked you in the toilet cubicle the other week.
Great scene.
Yeah.
He literally tied her hands up in the air.
With his cuffs.
Yeah, with his cuffs, and then rammed it in from behind.
Yeah. One of the first scenes where they're actually together, so there's a lot of tension built up between the two of them. Like, she just kind of refuses to acknowledge that she feels something for him because she's a little bit, like, lost in her feelings. So she's never let another man in until Harvey. And one of the very first scenes, they're basically standing around the swimming pool in her house. And it gets heated and stuff between them, and he basically just unties her bikini bottoms, lets them drop to the floor, pushes her back onto the kind of sun lounger, and uses his head and his fingers and goes to town on her. She gushes all over him.
Yeah.
And she's like, holy shit, like that's never happened before. And he was feral.
He was absolutely fucking
He just
feral
fucking
for
lost it. And he was like, holy shit, this is the hottest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, all over his face.
Yeah, and he loved it. Lapped it up. Literally lapped it up.
Big time. And then she ran off.
And then she did run off because she got all scared and was like, oh, what have I just done?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
So next week for the pod, we will be doing half Daddy Week because we had too many books and we fucking love it. And we will be doing half Why Choose while we transition into the Why Choose week.
We've got another Zodiac Academy episode coming on Tuesday after this one. And then next Friday, there will be another weekly wrap up. So I think that's it.
Yeah.
See you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hopefully we don't cry next week.
Yeah, probably.